My name is Jesus Nava. I'm in the Client Training and Education Department here at TradeStation, and it is a pleasure to be here with all of you. Thank you for taking some time out of your schedules to learn a little bit about TradeStation. We're going to take the next 60 minutes to learn functionality that is going to help you start with chart analysis, to do some basic trading, and also including some OCO, OSO functionality. And towards the end of the class, I'll show you how to do some scanning. But before we go over to the TradeStation platform, here's some important disclosures. Every symbol and idea that we talk about here today is for educational purposes only. It is not a recommendation of TradeStation. Active trading is not suitable for everyone, especially when it comes to options which carry a high degree of risk. For more information on these disclosures, go to our website, tradestation.com, and you'll find links at the bottom of the page. I also wanted to talk about the Getting Started classes. We have 3 of them. Today we're going to do the TradeStation Desktop. Tomorrow we're going to do OptionStation Pro. And on Thursday we're going to do Web and Mobile. These are all beginner classes. They are at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and they are repeated every week. So if you want to join me every week and just use it as a refresher, you're welcome to do so. We also have a session titled Ask the TradeStation Experts, which is every Tuesday and every Thursday at 12 noon Eastern Time. Ask the TradeStation Experts is just an opportunity for you to come into class and ask any questions related to the platform. So if you do have any questions, use that opportunity to join me for a live demonstration of functionality. I want to talk to you about the TradeStation Masterclass. The TradeStation Masterclass is upcoming in the month of September, and we're going to be doing this class in the city of London, England. We are currently offering a 25% discount towards the tuition cost of the TradeStation Masterclass. And Nico is going to be pushing the offer code right there in the chat so that you can write it down in case you have the opportunity to join us in England, London. Here's the video that talks a little bit about that class.
Hi, my name is Jesus, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about our upcoming TradeStation Masterclass. It's an interactive and in-person training experience. We designed the class for traders that want to improve their market analysis and trading skills. Our goal as instructors is to show you how to take full advantage of our trading platform. All the courses are hands-on, and they're taught in different cities across the country. The class has some great takeaways, including workbooks, custom workspaces, and advanced easy language studies. Just bring your laptop and we'll take care of the rest. Keep in mind that attendance to this exclusive training is limited, so make sure to reserve your seat early. It's a unique opportunity to join other traders like you and master the skills needed to take your trading to the next level. We're all looking forward to seeing you in our next TradeStation Masterclass.
So make sure you mark your calendars for September 4th through the 6th. It's a great opportunity to join not only the TradeStation instructors, but also some other TradeStation users that are using the platform. And I also wanted to point out that we have an upcoming Option Stars event. This is going to be in October 3rd through the 5th. And we have Sarah Potter and Larry McMillan as the hosts of this event. Here's a short video that explains that event.
Join me for Option Stars 2019. Hi, I'm Sarah Potter, and I'm the founder of youcantrade.com. I want to tell you about a really incredible in-person trading event that I'm hosting with Larry McMillan and TradeStation. It's going to be this October, and it's called Option Stars 2019. It's a 2.5-day event designed to give you everything you need to know to start trading options, to trade more confidently, and to be more consistent with your trades. This event will be held in Newport Beach, California, October 3rd to 5th. It starts with a night out for an options primer Thursday night to get those options juices flowing. Then Friday morning, I'm going to start off live trading in front of you. We're going to go through trades, we're going to talk about how to analyze those trades and manage the positions and how to close those out. You'll also be able to hear from Larry McMillan, who has over 40 years of options trading experience. He's going to talk to you about how to find unique trading opportunities and specifically how to use volume and options volatility to your advantage. Here's your chance to network with other traders and also an opportunity to see and hear from seasoned veteran traders so that you can jumpstart your own options trading. Just visit www.tradestation.com/OptionStars. I hope to see you there.
Great. So make sure to mark your calendars as well for October 3rd through the 5th. It's a 2.5-day event that is going to be filled with a lot of expert commentary on options trading. So thank you everyone for being here. Let's get started with the TradeStation platform. I'm going to switch over here to my computer. That's not what I wanted to show, but I'll switch it over to my TradeStation. This is the new version of TradeStation, and let's get this class started. Let me pull up a webcam here. There we go. And let me just launch my drawing tools so that I can point to certain sections of the platform. Here we go. Okay, first of all, I want to show you that the TradeStation platform is made up of 3 main tabs right here on the top left of the platform. You have apps, trade, and position graph. You click on apps to access applications that are in TradeStation platform. Click on trade if you want to put in an order. And you can click on position graph bar if you want to take a look at your open positions. Right here at the bottom left, there is a plus that allows you to open up workspaces. If you're creating new layouts, that is the button that you need to look for. When you first log on to TradeStation, there is a workspace titled TradeStation Today. Right now, I don't have it on the screen at the moment, but let me show you how you can access it. So if you saw it the first time you logged into TradeStation, but somehow now it's closed, in order for you to see that, you come here to the top, hover over apps, and TS Today is going to be a button right there at the top. I'm going to click on it to open it. And let's talk about some of the things that are right in here. First, right here on the left-hand side, you're going to see a featured video. This allows you to look at some of the events or some of the videos that we have created most recently. And right here at the top, you have a little drop down that allows you to change the video and play it right within this TradeStation Today workspace. Right here in the middle, we have the social feed. Right now, mine is empty. Nico, do you know if this is broken or?
It's your version of TradeStation, I think.
It's my version of. Okay. So I know that some versions of TradeStation, I was getting this over the weekend when I was accessing TradeStation Today. So hopefully it's working for you. But this is just going to give you every social tweet that TradeStation makes in our account. Right here on the far right, we have a calendar of events. These events are organized by the dates you see right here on the far right. Just click on the date. You see what's upcoming, and we provide you a convenient register button for you to register for these classes. Right here at the bottom left, we also have a section for recommended workspaces. A lot of times you're using TradeStation, you want to get some ideas on how to lay out your applications. The boxes right there at the bottom left provide you with sample workspaces to see how the applications are organized, how they're formatted, and that way it can trigger ideas on how you can do your own. In fact, you can use those sample workspaces and just make the modifications you need so that you can continue using them as if they were your own. Okay, so That is in the TradeStation Today workspace. Again, if you didn't get where to go to access it, you have to go over here at the top of the TradeStation platform, hover over apps, and TS Today is right there at the top. For this class, we're going to start off with a brand new workspace. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here at the bottom left of TradeStation, and I'm going to click on the plus. This will open an untitled workspace. So this is like starting from scratch. We have nothing open, and a lot of times this is how you're going to get started. By the way, I am looking at the chat, so if you have any questions or if you need a little bit more clarification on some of the features that I'm showing, feel free to ask me any questions right there in the chat. I also have Nico with us here in the class. He's going to be our tech guy, and he's going to be shooting a lot of information right there in the chat. So just keep an eye on everything that comes through TradeStation, which is us. All right, so thank you for being here. In this new workspace that I just created, I'm going to open up a chart. So that's how we're going to get the class started. I'm going to click on apps right here on the top, and I'm going to click on chart analysis. That is going to open up a chart for me. Okay, the chart is going to be on a symbol that I looked at last. So I was looking at Bank of America. Last time I was using TradeStation, and that's why Bank of America is loaded on my chart. I also can change the symbol. So if Bank of America is not the symbol that I want to look at, let's say that I want to look at Twitter, I can just type the symbol in. One of the features of TradeStation is that you can type in symbols without even clicking anywhere on the platform, and TradeStation will take that as a command. Let me show you. I'm just going to press the keys on my keyboard for Twitter, TWTR, and I want you guys to see what happened here on my platform. Right here in the middle, you're going to see what's called the command line. You see what I just typed right there inside the command line. So anything you press on the keyboard will automatically show up inside the command line. And all you need to do right now is just hit the enter key. And if I hit the enter key, it changes the symbol on my chart. And now if you look on the top left corner, I have Twitter. This is true for every application. Changing the symbol, very straightforward. Type it in, hit the enter key, and it changes. If you want to change the time frame, look over here on the top left. We have a 5-minute chart. We just click on the time frame button right here on the top, and we can change it to something else. Let's suppose that I want to see a daily chart of Twitter. I just click daily, and here it is. Very simple. If you're looking for other time frames that are not listed in this drop down, just click on customize at the bottom of the dialog, and that'll take you to a place where you can be more specific or choose something that is not available from this drop down. Okay, let's see some of the questions here. Thank you, Nico, for answering some of them. All right, if you guys are using 9.5, 9.5 has a lot of the same features and functionality that I'm going to show today. So they're very similar in the sense that you'll find the same features. What is going to be different is the look and feel. You know, some of the menus are going to be different. How do you get to some of those options is going to change, but the features should be there. All the classes that I do on getting started are going to be on the new version of TradeStation, and I do recommend that if you're still using 9.5, you give TradeStation 10 a try, because this is the one where all the new features are going to be created, and this is the one that is going to be enhanced. So our engineering department is not doing a lot of work on 9.5. So if you want to take advantage of all the new things that are coming on TradeStation, installing the new version is the way to go. Okay, perfect. If I don't get to your question, by the way, this is important because I know that you are here because you want to learn how to use the platform. But if there's something that I don't show in this class, or there's something off topic, or if I don't answer your question right here in the chat because I'm just, trying to go through the content, join me in Ask the TradeStation Experts. That's the follow-up class to today's Getting Started. It's going to start at 12 noon. And Ask the TradeStation Experts will give you an opportunity to just ask the questions, because that's the whole nature of the class. It is driven by the questions that you provide us, okay? So hopefully I can see you in the follow-up class. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the features here. I showed you how to create a chart. I showed you how to change the symbol. I showed you how to change the data interval. Now let me show you how to add some studies and how to do some drawings. Studies are going to be right here on the top of the chart. You just have to click on the studies button and then click on add study. As simple as that. When I click on add study, I'm going to get all the studies and indicators that are part of the platform. I just have to scroll and find what I'm looking for and add it to the chart. Let's start off with something simple that everybody can understand and relate to, which is a moving average 2-line. A moving average 2 lines is just 2 moving averages, one at a different parameter, and we're looking for those crossovers that could indicate a change in trend. So I'm going to put the 2 lines on my chart. All right. And that's how they look. Now, if you put in a study on a chart analysis, you're going to find that it's going to be using default parameters. As a TradeStation user, though, you can change those. You know, and I believe that these 2 lines that I just added are using a 9 and an 18 periods moving average. Let me change that. In order for you to change any of the studies that come in TradeStation, my shortcut is to double click on any of the lines. It's very simple to do, but it works really well if you want to, you know, make customization or customize any of the items that you're double clicking on. So I'm going to double click on one of these lines, and notice that it's going to take me to the customize indicator moving average 2 lines. Now sometimes if you want to change, if you want to make changes to the background, double click on it and it takes you to customize window. But I don't want to customize the window. I want to customize the study. So if you double click on the study itself, it takes you to the customized indicator, which is precisely where I want to be. There's a couple things that I'm going to show you here in this customized dialog. First of all is the inputs, because inputs is the way that you're going to be communicating with these analysis techniques and make them, you know, behave and calculate the way you want. Right here in inputs, I have the fast length and the slow length. These are the parameters that calculate the moving average. I'm going to make the fast 30 periods and the slow, and I'm going to make it 50. And I'm just going to click OK. As soon as I do that, you can see how the moving averages recalculate. Now they look a little bit different because I've just added my own parameters. Now I wanted to show you something else, because ideally when you use studies like this, you want to be alerted when the criteria of the study is met. Let me open up my chart a little bit and focus on what these 2 lines are doing. To open up the chart, and this is something for everyone here that is using charting, use the up arrow key on the keyboard. I'm going to press it multiple times, and you're going to see how my chart is expanding. So give that a try on your platform. Up arrow to expand the view, down arrow to compress the view. And I can see that right here in the current bar, the bars are, the moving averages are separating. Now, what if the moving averages start, you know, coming together and eventually cross? As a TradeStation user, I would want to be alerted of that event. I'm not going to want to sit here and wait for that crossover. I want TradeStation to give me an alert. All studies and most studies in TradeStation will give you the ability to set up an alert so that if the criteria is met, you can be notified. In order for you to turn on the alert is a matter of customizing the study again. I'm going to double click on one of these lines one more time, and I'm going to select the alerts tab. In the alerts tab, all I need to do is enable the alert and then select none for messaging. Well, in this case, I do want some messaging. Messaging is just a sound that you hear when the alert is triggered, or a pop-up window letting you know what the alert is. So I'm going to use the global messaging preferences. And for this example, I'm just going to select alert once per bar. Okay, and then click OK. Once I do that, the alert is turned on. So I can be working on something different in TradeStation, and TradeStation will let me know when these 2 lines cross. That is very useful, and that is very important for any trader to set up like this, so that you can just be working on something else and still be alerted if there's a crossover on the moving averages. Okay. Jeff, I see your question about looking at the pre-market. Yes, the pre-market, you can see it on an intraday. So if I go over here to time frame and I change it, let's say, to a 5-minute chart. Okay, here's a 5-minute. I can go to the time frame button here and go to sessions to enable the pre and the post market. So that's how you display that information on the chart. I'm going to go back to a daily chart. Okay, Tom, great question. Yes, to define your own parameters, just double click on any of the lines and it takes you to the formatting of the study. Let's see, David, for each time frame, is there a default number of days? No. Remember that the parameters that we saw in the moving average is just taking, it's using number of bars. In my example, since I was using daily bars, the number 30 and the number 50 actually represents 30 and 50 days. But if you are on a 5-minute chart, the 30 and the 50 represent the number of bars being used in the calculation. 30 5-minute bars and 50 5-minute bars. Joseph, we have simple moving averages and exponential moving averages. You just have to go to studies, add studies, and you find them right there in the list. Okay. Jojo, I see your question about installed app or the browser. We do have multiple platforms for TradeStation. Right now we're using the desktop version, and we have a web version and we have a mobile version. The one that has the most functionality is the one on the desktop, this one that I'm showing right now. The other ones, the web trading and the mobile, are more simple. They don't have all the bells and whistles that TradeStation has. But they're still very robust and they're still very handy. So do not discount them, but the one on the computer is the one that is most powerful. Okay. Perfect. Let's take a look at some drawing tools. Marauder 53, I see your question about Elliott Wave. We don't have anything on Elliott built into the platform, but we have other drawing tools that you can take a look at. Okay. Curiel, I see your message about attempting to access more bars. If you may want to, contact tech support on that, or maybe join me in Ask the Experts, and I'll show you some examples where that error could be generated. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the other functionality. Drawing tools are right here on the top. We click on drawing and you get every single drawing tool that is available to TradeStation. Let me show you one drawing tool that is very convenient, which is a horizontal line, because this is a very quick way for you to set up a price alert. I'm going to click on horizontal line, and I'm looking at the price of Twitter right here. It's trading at $42. Let's suppose that we want to be alerted if Twitter drops below 40. Okay, so I'm just going to click, and I'm going to, actually my camera is covering, so let me remove my camera. Okay, I'm just going to click and hold and try to position my line at $42 even. There we go. There it is. I'm just going to drop it in there. I just drew my line at 42. You can see the price on the far left. And this time I'm just going to double click on the line, go to the alerts tab, and enable the alert. As simple as that. That's one of the easiest ways for you to set up a price alert, is just to draw a line, put it on the chart, double click on it, and then enable the alert. I find that to be very convenient. You also have other drawing tools, for example, like the Fibonacci price retracements, which can also be turned on for alerts. So if I go here and I do Fibonacci price retracement lines, I can click a trough, and I can click a top, and then I see all the different lines based on the Fibonacci calculations. I can double click on the lines and then do additional modifications if I need to do so. Okay. Perfect. Let's go ahead and take a look at some other features. We're going to take a look at some order entry. So I see the question from Columbia SC Real Estate. So we'll get into that in a little moment. Wallians, I don't have information on, the availability of trading through TradingView. That's something that I don't have a lot of information on. Tom is asking, can you have the TradeStation platform on more than one device? Yes, you can. You can have it on multiple devices. The only limitation is that they cannot be connected to the network simultaneously. If you're really looking to have TradeStation connected on multiple devices, but at the same time, please contact our client services department, and they'll set you up with an additional login, an additional username and password to the TradeStation platform. There may be some additional costs, but client services should be able to tell you exactly how much that would be. Okay, so let's go ahead and if I want to remove any of these drawing things that I just put on the chart, I just click on one of the lines and press delete on the keyboard. There we go. It disappears. So let me go ahead and save this workspace. As you start, using your TradeStation platform, you're going to want to save the workspaces so you don't have to recreate them from scratch. So right here at the bottom, I'm just going to right click on that tab, click on Save Workspace, and I'm going to call this My Chart. As soon as I save it, look at the tab right here at the bottom. It's called My Chart. It gives me quick access to just clicking on the tab and then activating that workspace. Let's go ahead and okay. Thank you, Richard, for reminding me. He's asking about the snap tool. Yes, in the drawing menu there is a snap mode functionality right here towards the bottom of the menu. Snap mode, what it does, it fixes any drawing tool that you use to the closest price that it finds. Sometimes you want to draw something freestyle and you want to be able to click on the starting point and the end point without any automation to it. So it's just freestyle. Now if you turn on snap mode, you're forcing the drawing tool to snap to the closest price that it finds. So let me click on snap mode for a moment. And if I go over here to drawing and I click on horizontal and I click and drag, you're going to see that instead of that line following my cursor, notice what it's doing is actually attaching to the prices of the candles. So I can put it anywhere I want and it's going to automatically attach to the closest price. So if I want to do it on this low right here, I just go over that low and release, and it's going to draw the horizontal line right there. So it's pretty much doing what its name implies, which is snapping to the closest price available. Okay. Okay. Let's go ahead and take a look at some other functionality. And again, I repeat this because there may be some questions here that I may not be able to answer in real time. Join me in Ask the Experts at 12 noon, which is the class dedicated to Q&A. I'm going to answer questions that are related to the topic that are basic, but if you're having difficulties with some studies or difficulties with some other functionality, we can take care of those in Ask the Experts. Let me open up a new workspace. I'm going to do that by coming down here on the bottom left and clicking on the plus. That gives me a new untitled workspace, and here I'm going to start off with trading. So I showed you some basic charting, like opening up a chart, changing the interval, doing some studies, then doing some drawing. Now I'm going to do some trading. The trade bar right here at the top, it's very self-explanatory. A lot of platforms out there use a very similar style of trading bar. Just have to fill in the information for the order that you're about to place and then submit it. In this class, I'm going to show you a tool that is a little bit more efficient. And efficient in the sense that it's a little faster to put in orders. It's a little bit more efficient when you want to make changes to those orders. And that's the one that I'm going to show you right now. In order for me to access that trading tool, I'm going to go to Apps. And we're going to open up the Matrix. So Matrix is one of the applications built into the TradeStation. And I'm just going to click on it to bring it up. All right, here it is. Okay, this is my matrix. If you see right here on the top left corner, TWTR has been loaded, Twitter. That was the last symbol that I was looking at. And we did say that earlier that TradeStation remembers the last symbol you were looking at. and it'll load up the next window or the next application preloaded with that symbol. Let's take a look at what's happening right here in this matrix window and what are the different components. We see, let me bring up my drawing tool here. Okay. By the way, David, the rectangle is just precisely that. It draws a rectangle, and the way to draw it is you click on, one of the corners of the rectangle, and then release the mouse button, and then you click on the second corner of the rectangle, and it should draw a rectangle between those 2 points. Right here, in the middle of the matrix, you see the current trading price of Twitter. Right now, $42.49. In the blue section, those are the buyers. So the numbers that you see right there inside the blue cell, those are number of shares that are waiting to get filled at each one of the price levels. The prices are right here. So if we look at this particular field, you can see that there's, I highlighted too, 42.37, there's 1,100 shares at that price. And at 42.36, there's 647 shares. Anybody that sends orders to buy or sell Twitter are going to show up here. This is the whole market. This is not only TradeStation. Right here in the red column, these are the sellers. Anybody that submits a selling order for Twitter will show up here and how many shares they're selling. So this information that you see here is called market depth. You see not only the inside bid and ask, demand and offer, but you also see everything else, all the different levels and all the different sizes. Now in this particular window, I'm able to put in my trades, and it's very easy to do because you just follow the color. You hover over blue if you want to buy, and you hover over red if you want to sell. So let's go ahead and do some trading here and show you how this works. Let's suppose that I want to buy 1,000 shares of Twitter, and I want to buy them at 42.40, where my cursor is. So I'm going to come over here to the right hand side, and I'm going to change the quantity of my trade bar to 1,000. And all I need to do is I need to come back here, hover over the blue. You can take a look at what happens on the left side of my cursor. As soon as I hover, it says buy 1,000 limit, and I haven't even clicked. Once I click, it's going to submit that order to buy 1,000 shares of Twitter at $42.40. Let's go ahead and put it in. I'm going to click in here, and the order is through. I can open up the orders column, and you can see that blue box that represents my order. All right. Now, let's go ahead and do some changes here. Let's suppose that we want to change the price of that order because it's right here at 42.40. The current price is 42.51. I want to get it closer to the current market action. It's one of the most simple things you can do in TradeStation, which is clicking and dragging. I'm going to click on that blue box that I see under orders, and I'm going to drag it and drop it right here at 42.45. Click, drag, and then drop right here. And as soon as I do that, take a look. It actually moved my blue box from where I had it, and then it entered a new order at the new price. So cancel, replace, very easy to do. You just click and drag the order to the location you want. My order is going to be filled in a moment. Let me see if I have some, if I can answer some questions. Way, Ploman, how to get background dragging. Very simple. You just click on the candles and drag. That's how you get the background to drag. Can you set stops on the matrix? You sure can. I'm going to show you that next. Notice how my order got filled. How do I know? Because I see this horizontal bar highlighting the price of $42.45. So I know that that's my entry price. And right here on the left, I see a P&L column. Real-time P&L of what's happening to my position. If I want to do a quick stop, like a quick stop loss, I can use a P&L right here on the left. Let's suppose that I want to put in a stop loss at $100. All I need to do is come over here, hover over -100. You can see that towards the right it says sell 1,000 stop market. That's the type of order that is about to place as soon as I click here. I want to click on this -100, and the order is through. I have my stop in there. The red box right here is my order to sell. If I want to cancel that order, I just take my cursor, hover over the box, and then just click. The order's gone, gets canceled. By the way, if you're doing this on your own matrix, you're probably seeing confirmation windows, which are great because they tell you what the order is going to be. It tells you how much it's going to cost, which is great information before you put in a trade. On my matrix, I've disabled confirmations, and that's why when I click, the order goes through without getting this pop-up window. You can enable, or let's put it this way: you can disable the confirmation window so that you don't have to click on it every single time you trade. But as I said before, if you're more comfortable having that confirmation window pop up every time you click on a trade, then just leave it on because it does help you make sure you're not making any errors. If you want to do a profit target, you do the same thing. Let's say that if it reaches 150, I want to sell. I just click here on 150 and I have my selling transaction up there. Again, clicking on the box cancels the order. If you want to do a trailing stop, we do it here on the right hand side where we specify the amount that we want to trail by. Let's say that my trail is going to be 10 cents. And then I say sell trailing stop right here. When I do that, it sends the order right here and I see it right there. The red box is my trailing stop and it's 10 cents away from the current trading price. As the market goes in my favor, that trailing stop should come up with it. Let me go ahead and cancel this. And in this demo, I'm just going to click on the close button right here on the bottom right. There's a green close button that actually closes the position that you're holding on this symbol. So I have 1,000 shares of Twitter. I can see my position size right here at the top. So clicking on close sends a market order to close those 1,000 shares. You can see how my order line disappeared. Now, ideally, and this is something that everyone probably agrees with me, ideally when you set up a trade, you want that trade to already cover all your bases. So not only you're entering the market and getting yourself into a position, but you're also managing that trade with exits, meaning that if the trade goes against you, you have a protective stop, but if it goes in your favor, you have some way to capture some of those profits. So I'm going to show you a way that you can trade on the matrix by having all your bases covered. Not only the order to enter the market, but also your exits. So let's switch over here to the TradeStation platform, and we're going to do it in the matrix again. In this particular case, let's go ahead and pull up a futures. I'm going to do this on ESZ. Actually, it's U19. Let's try that again. ESU19. This is the September S&P E-mini contract. I already have a position open here. I can tell because right here, if you take a look at my position box, it says 1, and I have a P&L right here on the left-hand side. Let me go ahead and close my position by clicking on close here. Okay, that sends a market order to close whatever you have on the window. And the way that I'm going to set up this trade is, first of all, I'm going to think about my exits. I know that I want to get in. Let's say that I want to get in at 29.20 right here. This is going to be my entry price. And I know that if it goes up by 5 points, I'm going to get out. And if it drops 2 points, I'm also going to get out. So I have a 5-point target and I have a 2-point slot, 2-point stop. Let's go ahead and see how that is going to work. I'm going to use this little checkbox right here on the right hand side that says attach an OSO. For those that are not familiar with OSO, it stands for order sends order. And if you think about it, I'm having the matrix send an order to buy a contract of the S&P E-mini, but at the same time have my exits attached to it. So I'm going to come over here. By the way, this is available for stocks too. I'm just using futures so I can switch it up a little bit. But all the features that I've shown you are available for futures and available for stocks. In this drop down, I have multiple ways in which I can exit my position. I'm just going to use the top one, which is simple. Has one target and one stop. I'm going to click on the ellipsis here to modify, my target and my stop. Let me click here. And if you're a futures trader, you know that this particular futures trades in quarters of a point. So the offset, where it says here the price offset, you have to supply how many of those minimum ticks you want to trigger your order? Well, for the target, we said that we wanted 5 points. Now, 5 points means that every point is 4 quarters. So what we need to do is do an offset of 20 in order so that it accounts for those minimum price increments. We need 20 of those minimum price increments, which is a total of 5 points. And I did say that the stop was going to be 2 points. So if there's 4 movements in every point, that means that my stop is going to be at 8. I'm just going to click OK. By the way, if you're doing stocks, this is simple because this is just straight pennies. So if you want a 50-cent stop, you put in 0.5. But if you want a $2 stop, you put in a 2. For futures, it's just when you have to think of, how the instrument moves. For stocks, is pretty straightforward. I'm just going to click OK. Okay, I said that I wanted to buy this at 29.20, so I can scroll down a little bit and say 29.20 is down here. I'm just going to hover over here, the blue, and I'm going to click once. And take a look. I clicked, and I see 3 orders. The blue one, which is my order to buy at 29.20, but at the same time, I have my target 5 points away at 29.25, and I have my stop 2 points below at 29.18. Isn't that great and very efficient? Because I'm able to send this whole setup and then concentrate on something else. I don't have to be looking at this because I've already managed my trade. I set my risk of 2 points and I have my target. I just have to let my trade play out my conditions. Now, let me show you a couple more things. Because I set my target at 5 points, 29.25. What if I want to bring it closer to 29.23? Very quickly, I can click that order and drag it down to a different price level. So clicking and dragging works for all different types of orders, not only entry, but also exits. Notice what happens if I push my entry closer to the current price. I'm going to push it up from 29.20 to 29.22. So I'm going to click the original order up to 29.22, release, and there you see. The whole setup shifts because they're all connected. Those 2 orders are connected to my entry. So let me get this filled. I'm going to just drop it here where the sellers are. There we go. And as soon as I get filled, notice how those 2 additional boxes that were a little bit darker in color are now bright red because now they're activated and they're monitoring my position. And they are in an OCO, meaning that if one of those gets filled, the other side gets canceled. Okay. Okay, let's go ahead and do a short. Yes, Tom, thank you for your question. Let me go ahead and do a stock. Let's go over here to Bank of America. Okay, this is Bank of America. It is trading at 26.94. Let's suppose that, again, we are... well, in this case, let's take a different approach. Let's say that we are bearish. We think Bank of America is going to drop, and we just want to send in a short. And for this, I may want to set a short at the low of today. The low of today is right here, 26.80. So whenever you see that line in the matrix, that's going to identify the low of today. So if it drops again to the low of today, I want to go short. So what I do is I hover over the red where the actual price that I want is. Notice over towards the left, it says short 1,000 stop market. So it knows that it has to reach that level in order for me to go short. Now I can combine this with a profit target and a stop loss as well. I just click on attach OSO. I can click on the ellipsis here to modify the distance. By default it's 10 cents, but I'm just going to leave it the way it is right now. But if I want to short at the low of today, I'm just going to click down here, click, and the orders go through. Notice that that's my entry right there at 26.80, and it has the 2 exits attached to it. If I want to get filled right now, let me bring it up to where the current market is. That way it improves my chances of getting filled, but that is a short transaction. It's a red order. So as soon as it hits my price, it should get filled. Let me just bring it up a little bit more. Oh, it got rejected. I got rejected because I try to, put the order at a price that is not valid for a stop price. But that's the way that you do the short. Is it just the opposite of going long? If you want to go long, you click on the blue. If you want to go short, you click on the red. Let's take a look at some scanning functionalities. I'm just going to save this workspace. I'm going to call this the matrix. Let me open up a new workspace. And before I show you scanning, let me show you one more tool that I find is going to help you in monitoring your orders and positions. It's called the Trade Manager. So I'm going to click on the Trade Manager window. It opens up, and you can see that by default it goes to the Orders tab, so it gives you a chronological sequence of every single order that has been submitted in your account. You can take actions on any active order. I can just right click on it. Notice that I have different options in the right click menu, so feel free to right click on any row and see what options are there that allow you to monitor your orders. And you also have access to your list of positions. I can click on the Positions tab. I currently have 3 positions on, 1 in futures and 2 stocks. I have 1 on Boeing, American Express, and the futures is the S&P 500. But the nice thing about this Positions tab is that it gives you all your open positions in a listed view, and it also gives you each of their P&L values and a running total. So you're going to see a total for the overall account, which is very useful as well. Okay. So talking about scanning is one of those things that is going to help you a lot. A lot of times when we think about the stock market, there are thousands of different stocks that you can trade. Or even, if you're a futures trader and you want to have a whole radar screen loaded up with your commodities and different, sectors in the futures market, you can do that and have RadarScreen give you real-time alerts of any events that are happening in the market. Let me show you how to do that in TradeStation and how to set it up on your screen. I think you're going to enjoy this functionality. Here in TradeStation, let me open up a new workspace, and I'm going to click on Apps and click on RadarScreen. Okay. This is my RadarScreen window, and to answer Brita Chu 83's questions, can you scan using the browser version? Not much. This functionality that I'm going to show you here works well on the desktop version. On the web version, we have some studies that you can use to look at different calculated values, but nothing compares to the power of RadarScreen right here on the desktop. Can you scan using the browser? That's exactly. Okay, let's go ahead and insert some symbols here. From the from the RadarScreen window, click on Data, Add Symbol Lists, and in this example, I'm going to show you the NASDAQ 100. Okay, here it is. This is the NASDAQ 100. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, first of all, add some studies. I'm going to click on the plus right here. The very last column on the RadarScreen has a plus. Click it to access all the studies that are available. Let me do the moving average 2 lines. We all remember this study. I used it in charting when we first started the class. I'm going to add it here to my selected columns. I'm just going to move it down. So this is at the very end next to volume today. I click OK, and it adds this study right here on the far right. Okay, I'm not going to change the parameters. You can do that if you can. I'm just showing you this so that you can see the potential of TradeStation. Now, the moving average 2 lines that is calculated here is based on this time frame. Everybody sees the interval? It says 5 minute. So this is like applying a 2-line moving average to a 5-minute chart. In fact, every symbol, every row that you see here is like a chart because it's loading historical data to calculate the value of those 2 moving averages. But if you want to change the interval, you have to highlight the symbols, and I do that by clicking on the header of the column. I click on the time frame drop down and I select the time frame on which I want to calculate those studies. I select daily and take a look at the column. Now it says daily, and now my moving averages are going to be coming in a minute. It just has to download the historical data for each one of those symbols and give me a calculation. Let's give it some time. Here we go. See how the values are coming in? So whenever I have a radar screen with a study, I like to have a chart next to it as a counterpart. So I'm going to go to Apps and click on Chart Analysis. All right, let me just put my radar screen on the other side. And I'm just going to resize it so that it's a little bit smaller. I can fit more of my radar screen. Right here in my chart, I'm going to go to Studies and Add Study, and I'm going to add the same study that we are working on, or we are working with right here in the radar screen, the moving average 2 lines. I'm not going to change the parameters, again, as I said. This is just to show you the power of RadarScreen. The chart, I'm going to change the time frame to daily. And here's where the nice thing comes in. Nice feature. First feature is the linking. Ideally, if I click on any of the symbols right there on the left-hand side, I want my chart to update to that symbol. And that is very simple to do by clicking on the S of the radar screen window and the S of the chart right here on the far right. This creates a link. The windows are linked so that when I click on the symbols in radar screen, for example, if I click on CLAC, K-L-A-C, you can see that CLAC gets loaded right here on my chart. If I come over here and I click on Microsoft, then I see Microsoft right here on the chart. So now they were linked. The next thing that I'm going to show you, which is where the power of RadarScreen is, I want to do a scan in which RadarScreen can tell me, out of all these 100 symbols, which ones are the ones that are crossing right now on the current bar. That's some powerful information there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click on the column header for the moving averages because I want to format it for the whole column. And I'm going to go to Studies and edit the moving average to lines for all symbols. Once I do that, in the Alerts tab, I'm going to enable the alert. The alert is going to be continuous, and I do not want to have any message center notifications, meaning that when I check none, I'm not going to get any sounds and I'm not going to get any pop-up messages, which is sometimes what I choose because I don't want to be annoyed by pop-up messages if I'm turning on an alert on a list of symbols which is this big. I mean, we're literally turning on the alert for 100 symbols. Could you imagine if there's a quick turn in the market, they would all start firing off, pop-up messages and sounds. So no messaging, and I'll show you how the alerts work. Okay, so it turns on the alert, and if you look at the column, I know it's hard to see on that screen in particular, but if you're doing this on your own TradeStation platforms, you can see that every cell will have a little corner in yellow, like a little marking, and some of the cells will have a red marking. Now the red markings are the ones that I'm looking for, because the red markings tell you that those are the ones that are crossing right now. For example, this one has a red marking. The symbol is JD. Company's JD.com. And when I click on it, JD gets loaded right here on my chart. Let me open up my chart a little bit. And you can see how the two lines are crossing right now. Let's take a look at another one. Another symbol right here. It is CLAC, K-L-A-C. I click it and take a look at the moving averages. They're crossing right there on the current bar. Now, one thing that I'm gonna take this filtering one step further, because I probably don't need all these 100 symbols visible on the radar screen. Maybe I just want to see the ones that are giving me the alert. So all I need to do is come over here at the top of radar screen. I'm gonna click on one of these drop downs and select the moving average to line, and I want to filter by the alert. So give me all the symbols that have an alert equal to true. Once I do that, this is what I get. There's 8 symbols out of the 100. Now you tell me, how long would it have taken you to go through each one of these 100 symbols to find out how many are crossing right now. It would have taken you a considerable amount of time. Here, within minutes, I was able to tell TradeStation to look for that condition, and I can just filter my radar screen to only show the symbols that are meeting that condition. And this is the moving average to lines. In reality, you can set this up with any condition that you can think of or any condition that you create. I think it's a wonderful feature. You can continue adding more filters if you want to. You know, my list right now is pretty much filtered down to just 8 symbols, but sometimes by applying one of these filters, you may still have a list of symbols that is long, and you can just continue adding more filters by clicking on the plus and maybe doing filters by volume or doing filters by percent change. It's up to you. So let me go ahead and click on the minus here to remove that additional row. All right, so those are the few TradeStation features that I wanted to touch base with you guys. We talked about charting. We talked about matrix, and I showed you how to enter some simple trades. And right now, we just finished off with some RadarScreen functionality, which is, in my opinion, is really powerful and really beneficial to anybody that's trading the stock market, for you to narrow down the universe of symbols into something that you can manage and that you can trade. Looking for those stocks that meet certain characteristics or certain profile that you're looking for. So great. Thank you everyone for being here. Thank you for spending the time. The class needs to end because we need to get ready for our 12 o'clock session. If you have any follow-up questions to the functionality that I just demonstrated, please join me for Ask the Experts. Nico is going to be sending the information right there in the chat for the class. But it's also a live presentation in the YouTube channel. So if you're in the TradeStation YouTube channel already and you're getting notifications, these classes, as soon as they come live, you should be receiving notifications that we are in a live session. So thank you everyone for your time, and hope to see you in a future event.
Hi, my name is Jesus, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about our upcoming TradeStation Masterclass. It's an interactive and in-person training experience. We designed the class for traders that want to improve their market analysis and trading skills. Our goal as instructors is to show you how to take full advantage of our trading platform. All the courses are hands-on, and they're taught in different cities across the country. The class has some great takeaways, including workbooks, custom workspaces, and advanced easy language studies. Just bring your laptop and we'll take care of the rest. Keep in mind that attendance to this exclusive training is limited, so make sure to reserve your seat early. It's a unique opportunity to join other traders like you and master the skills needed to take your trading to the next level. We're all looking forward to seeing you in our next TradeStation Masterclass.
Join me for OptionStars 2019. Hi, I'm Sarah Potter, and I'm the founder of YouCanTrade.com. I want to tell you about a really incredible in-person trading event that I'm hosting with Larry McMillan and TradeStation. It's going to be this October, and it's called OptionStars 2019. It's a 2.5-day event designed to give you everything you need to know to start trading options, to trade more confidently, and to be more consistent with your trades. This event will be held in Newport Beach, California, October 3rd to 5th. It starts with a night out for an options primer Thursday night to get those options juices flowing. Then Friday morning, I'm going to start off live trading in front of you. We're going to go through trades, we're going to talk about how to analyze those trades and manage the positions and how to close those out. You'll also be able to hear from Larry McMillan, who has over 40 years of options trading experience. He's going to talk to you about how to find unique trading opportunities and specifically how to use volume and options volatility to your advantage. Here's your chance to network with other traders and also an opportunity to see and hear from seasoned veteran traders so that you can jumpstart your own options trading. Just visit www.tradestation.com/OptionStars. I hope to see you there.